It's official. John got into his first fight.
It wasn't a fight.
Well, you be the judge of that. And that brings up the topic of jerks. Are you a jerk? You might be if you do one of these things. Stay tuned.
Hey, welcome back to the RV Odd Couple. My name is John.
And I'm Mercedes. Long story short, we sold all of our possessions to RV full-time with a toddler and a dog.
If you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. Join the Odd Squad as we full-time RV, sharing all of our tips, tricks, and experiences as we go.
Okay, so this video is all about John's first RV fight.
Wasn't a fight.
And we're also going to talk about RV etiquette and things that people might do unconsciously. So you may be a jerk and not even realize it if you do one of these things.
And we've learned the hard way. I mean, we didn't know all the rules when we started either, but we're learning them as we go. So number one, you might be a jerk if you park next to someone else and there's 15 other spaces wide open.
Just might be.
We were in a spot for a week and we had somebody pull in right next to us. When we had first moved into the park, there was a 30 amp and there was a 50 amp breaker. We were a 50 amp, so we needed the 50 amp circuit. I went back down to the office. I told them, guys, you gave me a space that isn't 50 amp. They said, there's 50 amp in the pole next door. Just go ahead and use that one. We will not put anybody in that spot. There's 15 other spaces to go. And sure enough, some person came and decided to park in that spot. So long story short, we saw him pull in. He come over to our door pretty quickly and banged on our door and told us that we needed to move our power out of his site. So I pulled the plug before I had even shut the amp because I was pissed. And I went straight down to the campground and I told them, listen guys, when I first got here, I told you there was a 50 and a 30. I was taking the 50. You said you weren't going to put anybody there. And you did. Now he's pissed. I just pulled power. What can you do about it?
So they called him and said, hey, you got to move. These people were there first and we gave them permission to use the neighboring 50 amp power. And he was not very happy about that.
He was not happy.
So all of a sudden, John's outside minding his own business, and I hear this guy walking, and I hear him yelling, how dare you call the place, blah, blah, blah.
And calling my mother names in uncertain terms, and around the corner wanting to fight. The guy wanted to fight with me.
He was threatening him. He's like, you mother lover, I should blop, blop, blop. So ultimately, we came out on top for a couple of reasons. Now, number one, as soon as we realized there was an issue, we told the park. And then number two, we were nothing but courteous to the park.
Always be friendly to the people in the park, the staff.
Yeah. And then the other reason we came out on top was because we realized our limitations and we let the park people handle it.
I knew I couldn't talk to this guy. He was too pissed off. And if I tried to talk to him, he wanted to fight. So the best way to handle it is to go to the park ranger, let them know what's going on, and it did get fixed. Eventually come to realize he was wrong. He said he was sorry. I accepted his apology, and we moved on.
Absolutely. So that's awesome that he apologized and we got over it. And it was really funny because we actually ended up extending our stay. And he's like, I thought you guys were leaving. And we're like, it's snowing where we're going. And it was cool afterwards. But it really brought up the topic of jerks. So number two, you might be a jerk if you don't clean up after your dog.
We were in Arley, Alabama for Christmas. I walked outside. There was a few stray dogs, and the people next door to us were kind enough to adopt those dogs. But they weren't treating them as if they were their pets. You should have them on leashes, and you should certainly clean up after they poop. I walked outside Christmas Day and I stepped in crap. I didn't realize I had stepped in crap. I walked back up on the stairs into my RV and tracked poop all over the place.
It was not good.
I was pissed. Now, I did not go right after them. I went outside and I was kind of outspoken so they could hear me saying, if they're going to keep the damn dogs, put them on a leash and clean up their poop. They disappeared for 20 minutes. They came back. They had new leashes, and I did not have any more poop in our sight.
But it's a pretty big deal because when you're enjoying the outdoors, the worst thing that can happen is you step on a doggy poop. And it's so easy to clean. Just take a couple grocery bags and, just get rid of it. Most of these parks actually have a place to put the dog waste. So there's really no excuse for that.
You just keep an eye on your dog. You're responsible for it. Number 3, you might be an RV jerk if you blare your music or watch TV outside where half the campground can hear it.
Yeah, you see, if I wanted to be at a concert, I would buy tickets and go to a concert.
If I wanted to go to a sporting event, I would go to a sporting event.
Absolutely. So just be conscientious of noise. And I like hearing music. I like turning music on, but I just try to make sure that I can hear all the words to the song, not my neighbors.
Yeah, be courteous and friendly to your neighbors. You know, I can hear it. We can hear it on our site. You know, I might even go over and ask, do you mind if we turn on the game? Mm-hmm. And always observe each park's quiet time rules. Typically after 10 o'clock, you gotta turn it down and get quiet.
Yeah, and especially for us, we have a baby. So when I'm lucky enough to have her in bed at a reasonable hour, the last thing I want is someone's loud music or loud TV to be blaring and waking her up. So just observing those rules as far as noise is huge.
All right, number 4, you may be an RV jerk if you trespass on somebody else's campsite, whether it's to cut through to get somewhere else, or you like something on their RV, so you're going to crawl underneath it, take pictures of it, and stuff. We've seen this happen.
Yeah, we have totally seen this happen. And there is nothing wrong with admiring your neighbor's rig. In fact, it's the biggest compliment you can give someone, right? Oh, nice rig, buddy. But come on, man. This is our spot. We rented the spot. This is our space, right? And we work hard. I mean, when my kid wants to run in other people's spot, I make sure, no, we have to walk on the road. So just that little bit of consideration. All right, number 5, you might be a jerk if you leave a mess at your campsite. In fact, no, you are a jerk if you do this. Because, come on, man, we're trying to enjoy the outdoors. We picked this lifestyle to enjoy nature.
Everybody hates it. We've been in parks already where people, they move into their spot and there's crap all over the place. They throw the trash bags out sitting next to their stairs. Yeah. 3 or 4 bags.
And also with the trash, come on, there's animals out there. So you leave a bag of trash out, a raccoon gets into it, it's a windy night, and now your trash is everyone else's trash. So
exactly.
Keep it clean.
So number 5. So you might be an RV jerk if you pull in after 10 o'clock and start making lots of noise to set up your site.
And you're also an RV jerk if you decide to leave at 4 or 5 in the morning, and that's when you start getting ready to hook up and leave.
Don't be a jerk and pull into a site and start setting up at 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night and waking up all your neighbors.
And if you have to leave early because you have a long trek, we get it. And leaving early ensures that you get there at a decent time. Try setting up the night before. Connect the night before, so all you have to do is unplug power, and then you can leave quietly in the morning. Number 7, you might be a jerk if you're driving around really fast around the campground.
Yeah, we have a 3-year-old, and when I see somebody fly by my site at more than 10 miles an hour, I literally get red in the face and hot, and I consider throwing things at them, you know.
Throwing the dog poo that wasn't picked up.
And I have taken a basketball, I see them coming fast, I'll roll the ball right out in front of their car on purpose, and then I'll just give them an ugly stare. And typically they won't do it again, but you're in a campground, slow down. You shouldn't be racing anywhere when you're at camp. It's a place for people to go to relax, spend vacations, to be chill, sit back, enjoy. Don't be flying around a campground and putting other campers and their animals in danger. It's just not right.
Absolutely. And in some campgrounds, there's a lot of wildlife too. It's not just for kids. You know, like he said, there's just no reason why you should be rushing in a campground.
Number 8, you might be a jerk if you borrow things from your neighbor without asking. You know, take a picnic table or grab their power or tie into their hoses. Again, don't borrow things from your neighbor without asking.
This also applies to putting your stuff in your neighbor's area. So maybe there's no one parked there at the moment and you're unloading, but don't leave your stuff or take from their space, because they are renting that space and they're entitled to all of it.
Right. If you tie your dog out, make sure you think about it and tie your dog off to a tree where your dog can't reach over to where the neighbor's space is. You know, just have a little bit of consideration for your neighbors.
Number 9, you are a jerk if you are rude to the staff or the ranger at the campground.
You got to be friendly to the staff and the campground that you're staying in. Kindness always. What is the saying you always say with bees?
You catch more bees with honey than vinegar.
Right. You never know what you're going to get when you pull into a park. Most of the people we pull in at the desk are really friendly. Some of them are not so friendly. You have no idea what's going on with their day. But typically what we do when somebody is being grumpy with us, we smother them with kindness, because the people in the park, the staff, have all the power. They can ask you to leave anytime that they want to, and they also will make decisions between you and someone else in the campground that you may be arguing with, and I think the nicer person to the staff is going to get the better outcome in the end.
Yeah, and why would you be rude to someone when you're essentially in their house?
Yeah.
You know, don't bite the hand that feeds you. That's just dumb.
Yep. And then finally, number 10, you are a jerk if you're not quick to apologize when you realize that you're wrong. Everybody has a bad day. You know, sometimes our hours in traveling 6, 8, 10 hours, we're tired when we get to our campsite. Things have not gone exactly the way that you want them to. And I've been a jerk. Typically, most of us know when we're being a jerk. And as soon as I am very quick to apologize. The coolest part of the story with the guy that pulled in next to us is that after 2 times of wanting to fight me and storming down to the office to complain, he was the one that looked like a jerk. And it became very, very clear to everybody involved. But I give the guy a lot of respect, because after all that, he come over and he said, "Hey, sir, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have acted like that. I was in the wrong. You were right. Please forgive me." And I said, "Absolutely." You know, and let it go.
And sometimes, like, when our daughter presses the stereo and turns on her cartoons outside, it's an accident. Just apologize quickly and, you know, get over it. We all make mistakes. Sometimes things happen.
Yeah.
So we want to thank you so much for watching our video. We want to encourage you to subscribe if you haven't already. Give our video a thumbs up. And in the comments, share with us any stories that you have about jerks that you've met in RV parks.